Get ready for another microdose. And hey, if this information is jiving with you, then check out the full episode. The link is in the show notes. Enjoy the ride. Just talk a little bit about this because I've been kind of understanding this a little bit more and wondering about transgenerational trauma. Is there a way to go inside, like stuff that has been passed to you, like almost genetically, that we can go in and begin to heal these deep wounds that don't even come from our experience, but come from the experience of our ancestors?
And guess what? It's not almost genetically. It is genetically. There are studies now. Rachel Yehuda is one of the people in Albert Einstein in New York who's done a lot of research on what we call the epigenetic transmission of trauma. Trauma is passed down through the genes. It is.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. And it's also reversible, which is the good news. I mean, I can tell you, I have a trauma history. So you don't become a trauma expert just for fun. Let me tell you, it's not a fun job. You become a trauma expert because you have a trauma history.
Is this your manager speaking right now, Dr. Frank? Is this your manager speaking right now?
Hey, that is my truth speaking right now. I have a trauma. I'm in the midst. I'm writing a memoir actually for the general public to tell my story so that people learn. Yes, we have trauma, and yes, healing is possible. It's very important for me. My purpose is to let people know we all have trauma and it can be healed, right? So I know I have a trauma history, and with my oldest son, I can see some of the symptoms some of the ways he reacts is similar to me because of my history. It kills me to see him have some of these symptoms that were passed down genetically. Do you know what I mean? So it really does happen, and it's reversible, right? So we can do that. But getting back to the transgenerational, so Rachel Yehuda did a study with the children of Holocaust survivors. It was like, it's not just the environment that they're growing up in that gives them PTSD. Though the kids had PTSD partly because of the environment, growing up with parents who survived the Holocaust, but also because of the genetic transmission. So that is actually healable also. Like I'll give you a personal example. For me, transgenerational trauma. I grew up separate from the abuse I experienced, in addition to. I grew up in the south side of Chicago, very big Italian family. I'm 100% Italian. I grew up in this sea of South Side Irish. Everybody was Irish and everybody wanted to go to Notre Dame. It was kind of a thing. But my Italian heritage had mafia connections. And we would hear these stories as a kid growing up. You gotta watch out because Uncle Nino's gas station got blown up when he didn't pay his loan back. You gotta be careful because so-and-so's, whatever, so-and-so's dog got beaten when he didn't eat his food like he was supposed to. So like I grew up hearing all of these terrifying stories as a kid of the mafia. My dad would say, but I know, they don't, once you take money from the mafia, they own you for life. And I've never taken a cent. Like he held a lot of pride in that. And then we heard Uncle so-and-so was a pallbearer for Al Capone at Al Capone's funeral, right? And so as a kid, we were a part of this mafia world, right? That was terrifying. I used to go to bed at night. Like, are they going to come and blow up our house? Is somebody going to come and steal all of our money? Like, as a kid, you don't know, right? I used to read anything I could about Al Capone, looking for my uncle, as I saw all these pictures and newspaper clips. So that was a trauma I carried because of the family that I grew up in, right? And that had a huge impact on my being afraid. I was beaten up as a kid and I was terrified of the mafia coming to get me. You know what I mean? So I grew up with so much fear. Both of those can be healed. Like you can heal from childhood trauma and you can heal from the transgenerational. What I say about transgenerational trauma is you don't need to carry anything that doesn't belong to you. So there's a way to release it and give it back. Sometimes we pass it back through the generations. Sometimes we release it off into the atmosphere. Sometimes we release it in nature, right? There's a lot of ways to release the stuff we carry. We all take messages. We all internalize messages as a kid. Growing up for me, the men had to support the family. The girls get married. You don't have to go to school. Like that was a message in our family, So we internalize all these messages and they have an impact on us. And yes, those can be healed. The other thing is we get tons of message from culture and society, as we talked about at the beginning of this podcast. Men have to be tough and strong. Women have to be thin and pretty, or any of these cultural messages that we get. We can release those also. That's a big movement now for releasing cultural, transgenerational, what we call legacy.
Hey, thanks for joining us on this journey. Small doses lead to big changes. If you're vibing with this snippet, then take a listen to the full episode by clicking the link in the show notes. If you would like to plug in deeper to what we're doing, head to mentalkingmindfulness.com or text MTM to 33777. Until next time, peace.